And the funny thing is that good slides don't get you anywhere. Bad slides don't get you anywhere. Glamour slides are what gets accepted to the top shows.
Yes.
And the difference between a good slide that represents your work nicely and a glamour slide, 1 in 100 is a glamour slide. When you're at a wholesale show, you have only 3 seconds to capture someone's attention. And you're not competing on product to product. I know you're going to think you are, but you're not. You're competing with lighting. Lighting is everything. This is your stage. This is your drama. If you don't have good lighting, you will not sell anything. I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone with poor lighting and I've said to them on the first day of the show, you must get better lighting. You must. And they look at me like, well, I'm too tired. I've already done everything. I'm done. And they won't go get good lighting. There are people that stand in the dark for 5 days and they think they're either blaming me for their bad show or they're blaming their own self. This is not about ego. It's not about you. It's all about presentation of your work. Separate yourself from it. The way you look at your own work is not the way other people look at it. You know what every little detail in your piece is. A person over the age of 40 with bad eyesight has to get right up on it to see it. So you have to have big blow-ups of your work in your booth, and you have to have great lighting. It is hard enough to buy jewelry if you're looking at 300 tiny little booths with itsy bitsy little things.
Is there a certain type like halogen or, that you recommend? Or
it depends on how you're doing it all, but yes, the low voltage and the halogen work just fine, but you have to have enough of it.
Right.
And that's a lot, not every, you need to spot, every piece has to have light on it.
Right.
As well as the signage, as well.
Right.
It's a lot, it takes a lot of light, and we'll discuss that.
Yeah. So, the other thing is that many people who are starting out in business don't understand what profit is. Profit is not the money that is left over at the end of the year. Profit is the money that you will use, and it's not the money that goes into your pocket as your salary. Profit is the money that you will be using to fuel your growth for the coming year, that you will buy the next supplies with. It is what manages your cash flow and keeps your cash flow going. So you must make sure that 30% of all your sales is profit. It has to be that. And that does not include what you're paying yourself. You'll run out of money very quickly if you don't have any, if your profit's not 30%. And hopefully, if you're doing this right, you're going to be doubling your revenue each year for 3 to 5 years. And if you really want to do that, you want to get started, then you need that money for growth. In the 1970s, retailers did not buy, they consigned everything. Today, most successful retailers are purchasing 70 to 80% of their inventory. That is the inventory that turns and sells. And the consignment inventory is only a small part of what they do. And I can't tell you how often I have known consignment inventory to be back in a box in the safe and not in a case. Anytime you consign, you should know exactly where it is, how it's being treated, how it's being sold. And you have to understand, a retailer in a store has purchased and owes money on all that 80% of that inventory. Their incentive is to move that, not to move the consignment goods.
Right.
So my next visit, we will discuss everything there is to discuss about retailer relationships and how to leverage those in the best way that you can.